can change that intro music to make it.
I actually didn't change it. I don't know how it got like that.
I need a trap beat in there somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, hello. Welcome back to the Dynamite book.
Yes, we are back. Oh my god, I didn't even tweet.
Oh.
I've been so like behind and everything. I feel like I've been running around like a monkey with my head cut off lately.
The expression is chicken.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. That's how discombobulated I've been.
I mean, maybe they say something different down in the South, but
okay, all right. Is that a joke? Is that
up north here, in the Union States? Okay.
The Union is crazy, like that. The Union is something crazy to say. Like that's actually crazy.
How's everybody doing tonight?
I was just about to ask you the same thing. How are you?
I'm good. Today's been a day. Wait, I wanted to show it off. So, F1 season is about to start, and I won our fantasy league last year, so I have an F1 belt now.
What? They do belts?
Yeah, we made this. We're all Lewis Hamilton fans till the day we die. So this came in today, so I'm super happy. And then I went to a salsa class, and that was fun. I think I'm gonna keep going.
So what made you go to the salsa class?
I saw a TikTok like a couple weeks back that was like, oh my god, is our whole lives just like living for the weekends? And like we just like 5 out of the 7 days of the week, we just wait for them to be over. And I was like, shit, I can't let that happen. So I just keep finding like little things. And like I went to a cake decorating class last week. I have piano tomorrow. Like, I don't know.
What?
Yeah, just build a life. I don't know, man.
I need to move to a major city. I don't even think we have that much stuff going on. I'm so serious.
Eventbrite is your friend. Thank you for the well wishes for Black Women's History Month. Yes. Compliments also always go a long way. Lyric, how are you?
I'm tired. I will say I've been like really cool, awesome, amazing, like chill recently, but like this week has been so weird. I don't think I've been in a really good mood.
I'm never in a good mood, so I get it.
Yeah. But Dynamite definitely helped. Like good wrestling definitely helped. I decided to like start catching up on Stardom, and that's really been a really good impact on my mood. But yeah, I don't know. I've been in a funky mood lately. Go ahead.
If a package arrives at your home, it is not a bomb. And I want you to open it on camera. So either save it for an episode of the Dynamite book or record yourself opening it.
You wanna know what's so crazy? It's only funny because I'm alive. But there was a tornado this morning, and all of my packages got held at the post office, and I still don't know which packages because I was expecting something else too. So I don't know what it is.
Happy birthday! It might only be funny to me, but it's
no. I think whatever.
I'm an actual gift, but
I'm sure I'll laugh. But I do appreciate it. I will make sure to put it. Thank you. Chloe, why didn't you watch Dynamite tonight? And hello, Crash. Thank you. Welcome for your first time.
Thanks for watching the Dynamite book, even though you didn't watch Dynamite. That
just speaks to
love that.
We really fought with you. I hope you know that. Like truly.
A long way.
You and Jalen, we locked in, twin. Man. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the show.
This is the earliest we've ever actually talked about Dynamite. So go ahead.
I know. I don't think. Do we have any like crazy oversharing to do today?
You know, I always do, but Maybe I'll sprinkle it in this time.
Well, razzle dazzle. I don't really have anything this week. Nothing that I can share on camera.
What the hell that mean?
No, it's just more so like stuff
You
of
a
just
criminal?
like I'd be a terrible criminal.
Really? You think so? Depends on the crime.
Depends on the crime. Yeah. Depends on the crime.
I think maybe I shouldn't put that on there.
I think anything that like really requires my hands, I think I'd suck. Like if it requires me to like run, shoot a trigger, anything like that, I think I would be terrible. But crimes that involve my mind, mastermind.
I truly think, and a lot of it, I think, is delusion that there's not that I could successfully complete most crimes. I won't because I'm a good person.
I believe you can too, though. I want you to know that I do believe in you.
But this is a problem. I just have this endless belief in myself. 9 times out of 10, it's shit I've never done. I've never even thought about, and I'm like, I could probably do it.
I think truly, and not trying to like get all woke or anything, but I think to be a successful Black woman in today's society, you have to operate in a generous amount of delusion if you believe that you're going to go anywhere.
And you know what helps? You know what really helps? If you don't respect other people's opinions, it's so freeing. Like, I can no longer feel the emotion of embarrassment because I don't respect your opinion.
No.
Like, so it means nothing to me that you think that was embarrassing. I don't
also
think that you
I only recognize embarrassment if it comes from within. Nobody else is going to tell me what's embarrassing. I may think something is embarrassing, but that's because I think it's embarrassing.
But see, I don't even think that anymore because I'm just like, I'm very much of the mentality, well, literally, this is everyone's first time living. I fucked up a little bit. That's okay. Never done this before. Delusion is the most powerful tool ever created. Happy Ash Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So that kind of parties, that kind of hood jam. Got it. Thanks. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start with Dynamite. We started with a MJF promo, and he was outside yelling, and he was like, "Hangman, come outside! Hangman, come outside! Hangman,
just like me every week.
Just like me. Oh." He said, "Where's Hangman? Where's Hangman?" He's crashing out to start the show. That was fun. Giving up embarrassment for Lent. Good.
That part.
You know what? Actually, if anybody's giving up anything for Lent, put it in the chat. I want to hear. I would like to hear. Within reason.
Without reason.
I mean, okay, without reason. This is an after 10 p.m. show, so sure.
All right, whatever.
No, you're absolutely right. So yeah, if you're giving up,
I think I've given up.
In years past, I gave up. I gave up secular music. I did give up secular music for a while. What else did I give up?
I've given
up. I never gave that up. Never mind.
I've given up some weird stuff because I went to a Catholic high school, and we had a priest, though. He was funny because he was like a chain smoker. He was known for smoking, and every year he would give up smoking, and then we'd all see him like smoking in his car, and he'd be like, the good thing about God is that he forgives.
One time when I was fasting, and it wasn't because I think that it was bad or anything. It was more so because I felt like it took up so much of my time. So like, I think I've reached a point in my life of giving up something like alcohol is really pointless because I don't really drink like that unless I'm out.
Yeah, so impact your life.
Yeah, so it has to impact your life. So once I fasted, I gave up AO3, y'all.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that. One, I'm gonna let y'all know
my heart.
I would never do that again. But giving up fan fiction.
What do you do at night? Genuinely.
No, that's what I'm saying. Y'all can go to sleep without a good night story. I can't do this. No, y'all, this was years ago.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I feel like, and maybe this is just me and my warped understanding of Christianity, even though I've been raised in it. I feel like if you're giving up something that Jesus wouldn't recognize, does it really matter? You know, like if you look Jesus in the face right now and you said, I'm giving up AO3, he'd be like, what is that, my child?
Listen, hey man, listen.
I think it got to be something that would
no,
register to the Lord.
I feel like it has to be something that you actually, that takes up actually part of your time. Like that's a part of your life. And that's why I feel like giving up alcohol was just not going to do it, because I don't drink like that.
You give up DoorDash.
Never.
You know what would really get me, and I'm like, to the point where I'm not willing to do it. Culver's concrete mixers.
Listen, we all got our little thing. Like I feel like
mine.
everybody has their thing. Mine's is Magnolia Bakery banana pudding. And I would also like to say too, of like, I did the AO3 withdrawal thing at a time where I had time to withdraw it and I could survive it.
But did you cheat? Were you like on Tumblr still?
No. I didn't cheat. But you know how I get around it. You'll appreciate this. I got around it because I was working at campaign, and so like,
yeah,
you
time to be alive.
You don't have it. You don't have life. So yeah, I can give it up for these amount of months.
I think that this year, I think like last year, I think I gave up like all social media, but that doesn't really do anything for me anymore. Besides like Twitter, I could give up Twitter for Lent, but then who would I talk to? And then I would have to just have like this notes app collection of odd things to say. I don't know.
I think also too of just once you get to a certain
AO3 is nostalgia. AO3 is today, baby.
Yeah, AO3 is then, now
forever.
And we are together forever.
These are all AO3 tabs. Don't do me. And then you go to Untitled, private, more AO3 tabs. I got a problem. Lord knows my heart.
Okay, twin.
He'll meet me there.
Twin. Yeah.
You know, fan fiction is of the Lord. I think, you know what, guys? Eventually we will.
I don't even like saying.
Can I say something really quick?
These words.
It's completely unrelated to wrestling, but I just I want to say something really quick. I'm talking about fan fiction not being of the Lord. This week, I have been on a real kick about Dante's Inferno. Lyric, are you familiar with Dante's Inferno?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Dante's Inferno was a book written in the 14th century by this guy named Dante, and it is best known because it has these really graphic depictions of hell, and a lot of the way that he details hell and he, describes it is a lot of the way that we visualize it now. So he gave visualization to hell. I'm going to keep the long story short. Basically, everything that Dante writes about is he writes the world's first burn book, essentially, because he grows up in Florence, okay? There's two groups fighting for control of Florence. It's like the Holy Roman Empire versus the papacy, all this, whatever. He's like, you know what? I'm pro-papacy. That's who I'm with. Eventually, war, it's over. He's like, okay, I'm going to cut. His group wins. He becomes a politician. His group splits into two little groups. One group is like, I think that there should be at least a little bit of oversight for the Pope. And the other one is like, nah, man, Pope should be able to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. And he's in the group that's like, maybe we should watch the Pope a little bit, okay? He leaves, goes on a business trip to Rome just to check to see what the Pope was actually doing over there. And while he's gone, the other group and the Pope conspired to have him exiled from Florence forever. Literally never gets to go home. Never gets to go home. And so this motherfucker sits there and he's like, fuck, what can I do? What's everybody really into right now? Religion. I know what I'll do. I am going to write a book, and I'm going to be the main character. And it is going to detail 9 different levels of hell that people can go to. And the examples of the sins are all going to be things that have been done to me. So basically, he writes Dante's Inferno, and it is like, yep, it's hyper specific. So he'll be like, yep, so if you ever blink twice on a Tuesday and then stab somebody in the back, you're going to the fourth layer of hell. Super graphic depictions of all this shit. He basically writes this book with himself as the main character, telling all of his enemies how they're going to go to hell, and scares the shit out of everybody at the time because they're like, oh my god, this is so graphic. And this motherfucker even goes, you know what I should do? I should backdate it 20 years so people think it's a prophecy. So I didn't even write it. And they're gonna be like, oh my god, John the Fourth, he goes to the fourth layer of hell because of adultery. I'm John the Fourth. I committed adultery. I'm going to the fourth layer of hell. Literally. So it permeates modern culture, and the way that we think about hell is in part because of Dante's Inferno. And it was just him being like, you know what? If you were mean to me, I'm going to invent new ways to scare you, new ways to damn you. He was the world's most original hater, and it lasted for centuries. Thank you all for listening to my little micro history lesson. Love pro wrestling. Yes, lyric.
I think that was fascinating. But what did that have to do with what we were talking about?
We're talking about fan fiction and the Lord. That's what Dante's Inferno is. He's like, he reads the Bible and he's like, you know what if I took this a step further? What if I took the writings of hell a step further, but it was only about my enemies?
I mean, yes,
the Bible as a base text.
Saying, I get that. I'm just saying, where do we find it?
What do you mean?
Where do we read it?
Oh, I mean, it's a book. You can read it wherever. It's long and complicated and very specific, and yeah, and if you read it on its face, you're gonna be like, what is he talking about? Because it's so graphic. But with that background, you're like, oh, that's why he went into such detail. And matter of fact, it is a Bible self-insert. Matter of fact, he goes and he describes each like level of hell, and it's for like less and less time, and it's because the person guiding him through, we can only stay here for a little bit of time because you're gonna get damned. This motherfucker was running out of ideas in terms of crazy shit to tell people, so by the time he got to like the ninth circle of hell, he was like, I don't know, it's just really bad.
Oh my gosh, now I'm intrigued.
Anyway, Dynamite was good.
Yes. Well, after the MJF goes looking for Hangman, we start with the contract signing. We have Ricochet and Swerve. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Man, listen, Ricochet, when he laughs at his own jokes, I can't stop. I cannot stop crying. Like, he thinks that he's, and I kind of appreciate that, knowing that nobody else thinks that you're funny, but still believing in yourself. Like, actually, I think I'm the most hilarious person that ever lived. I respect it. I aim to have that level of confidence myself.
I made a whole different account for it, so I'm
gotta respect it. No, I'm gonna be honest. I've considered making a different account. I would love. Sometimes I think my jokes are so funny. If nobody else, I want to laugh at them. I want to personally be able to appreciate them from an outside perspective.
That's what my sister says. She's like, Danielle, you're the funniest person I know, just because you're telling the jokes I want to tell, but I get to laugh at them.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But
Ricochet doesn't need that.
Yes. So I would also like to say, when it came to Swerve, he stumbled like 4 times during this, and like the crowd got louder. They actually got louder and cheers. They said, we actually don't even care about what you're saying at this point. We rock with you so much. And I also think that the intimate locations and venues have really paid off. Like, this crowd was nuts. This building was crazy. Like, it felt almost alive. And I think one of my biggest complaints about like modern wrestling is that I think, aside from a few different people, you rarely see crowds breathe with a match anymore. Like, you know, they'll typically like pop for like the big spots or things like that. But like all night long, like the crowd had a reaction to just about everything that happened, whether it was a match, the segments, all of it. Like this really worked. But yeah, I think that one, they were both troopers because obviously we had to see them at the end of the night anyway. We'll get to the match later. But I think the contract signing did what it was supposed to do. This is the first, congratulations to Swerve. This is the first contract. Yeah, this is the first contract signing that he's had in AEW where he hasn't gotten his house burned down or stabbed in the hand or one of his dreads cut off or his ass beaten. So congrats to Swerve.
Just a normal day to work.
Yeah, let's see if he can do it again. And he got cooked at the end. I will say they cooked him at the end, but for a while there, life was good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think about what's going to happen to this road? Because, you know, Ricochet says like, oh yeah, it's in a safe spot. It's getting some upgrades. What do you think is going to happen to this road?
You know, that's a good question. I honestly don't know. I feel like I mean, I think it's inevitable that Ricochet destroys it in some capacity. Now, what that actually means for Swerve and Nana, I don't know, because I don't want them to be broken up.
No, I know.
Nobody wants that, I don't think. But I don't know. I'm just like, it very much gives world title, which is it's in a protected space. It's not here. Don't worry about it. Girl, go get that shit.
I'll also say too, I feel like this, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but tonight's Dynamite really felt like a post-Death Rider society. Like it really
came out here.
It feels like even when they came out, it very much so felt like mid-card shit. Like the Death Riders, like it genuinely feels like they are prepared.
They didn't close the show
for Swerve or Ricochet, but likely Swerve to take that belt back. And so I ain't gonna lie, that just makes me even more excited because it's like, oh, we doing big business again.
I don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger, but we can talk about that later.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Next we had the 8-man tag, which was what? That was Ospreay, Hobbs, Orange Cassidy, and was it Mark Briscoe?
Yep.
Yeah, and Mark Briscoe versus Mark Davis, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, and who was the fourth person? Who was the fourth person? Because it wasn't Takeshita, and it wasn't Kyle Fletcher. Who was the fourth person?
Guys, we might need to know.
Brian Keith. Brian Keith.
Sorry. Thank you.
Hey man, listen. This was fantastic. This is the type of high energy action that I want to see on Dynamite, like the type of multi-man tags. Like everybody was going crazy. This was awesome. Hey, listen, I still say y'all put it in the chat. So let's be cool.
Okay, in our defense, I was thinking like, okay, who else? What other big ass man did they put out there? And I forgot that.
And honestly, I was thinking more so of like Don Callis family, because like everybody else in the match. So like, charge to my head, not my heart. We'll play still tipping, please. Everybody be cool, guys, please. But yes,
I love this match. I love Hobbs.
Built him up expeditiously.
I have had Hobbs stock from before it was him and Ricky tagging together. Richard. I love Hobbs. I think that this match, I don't know. I sometimes it feels like AEW, like they'll throw an 8-man on there just to see what sticks.
Yeah.
And it's very hit or miss for me. This one absolutely hit. Lance Archer, do not tip your braider. Do not tip your braider. What the fuck you got on your head?
All right. This is actually a really good point about babyface Hobbs stocks paying off. what I think, one problem that I do think that AEW has worked on significantly over the last couple months is the baby faces look very strong. Because I think for a while, every baby face was getting like just cooked and everybody looked weak. And I think from both that match, I mean, with all the Death Rider stuff, everybody was getting waxed like 24/7 and just looking weak.
Fair enough.
But I think right now they are genuinely building up some really over baby faces. I think on that high level, of course, with the Swerves and the Ospreys, and now like Hangman about to join them again as a baby face.
He's always been there.
Oh, I'll be honest. I never cared if he did or he didn't. If he's a heel, I'm a heel too.
If a man is that fine, you just gotta stick beside him.
Exactly.
Figure the rest out later.
I think that's one of those things when it comes to Hangman, and I know it's not even his segment yet, but I'm not even in the Hangman has done nothing wrong camp. I just don't care. I just decided
he might be guilty. That's all right.
If he's guilty, then I am too.
Lock me up with him. We'll share a cell.
You know, put that in my brains. But I think like the way Hobbs and even like later in the show with Swerve, I think they really started to crack the code as far as like having baby faces who can be good guys but not be boring. I think Willow Nightingale probably does that better than anybody else in the company.
100 badillion%. Yeah, and I would argue better than most people in the industry right now.
Correct. Like Willow is like the blueprint for being a baby face and being a pure baby face. Her and probably Mark Briscoe are like the purest baby faces who aren't boring and they're not pushovers. And I think that's a big thing too. And so kudos to this match. Hobbs looks great. He's a guy who needs to be belted up with some type of gold. I'm not sure. The TNT belt does seem like it would be the easiest just because that Continental title is not moving. That international title is about to not move. But I would like to say, Hobbs, I would like to see you challenge Kenny Omega. I would like to see the match. I would like to see the match. And after you lose that match, you'll never lose another match again after that. I'll tell you what.
But losing to Kenny Omega can do more for your career than winning against everybody else.
Correct. And so
it's a compliment.
Yes, we have it all planned out. Just follow the plan.
Stick with us. Stick with us.
I also even think too of just because I think Hobbs is such a versatile wrestler. I like to see him in more of those Forbidden Door type scenarios. I think that he could be a good candidate to carry that New Japan Strong open weight belt before the end of the year. Of just Gabe's not going to hold it forever. I honestly think that he's gotten everything out of his reign that probably you can. Like it seems like it's not that he's been a bad champion, but there should. I respect your hater, man. I respect it. For me, it's not that Gabe has been a bad champion. It's just that the strong stuff is not really in alignment to what he's really accomplishing right now. Like it just feels like
what he's talking about.
Yeah, like it's genuinely, and he never actually talks about the title.
He's just got it, you know.
Yeah, he just kind of has
while he's on every other mission.
And if there's any New Japan belt that makes sense to put on AEW people, it's that one. As you can see.
And I think for Forbidden Door this year, you gotta. Girl, give us some. Shock us somehow. And what is the point of continuing to do things like Forbidden Door if you never put faith in the other company for them to hold some of your belts?
I agree. But you know, we shall see. We shall see. But I saw a really good idea the other day talking about moving Blood and Guts to Forbidden Door. And listen, after the War Dogs cage match in 2023, I would be down with that. I'm not gonna lie. I think that that's cool. And if they do manage to sign Uncle Allen, I have so much riding on AJ Styles signing with AEW. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be Will Ospreay's all-in match. If he signs that, that's 100%. Like I
has to be. And I literally tweeted earlier, but I was like, y'all, they haven't even begun to talk about who Osprey might have for y'all in. We got a pretty good idea about pretty much every other major star.
That means they genuinely believe that they gonna get AJ. And with as many times, it's like when he was able to use like the Styles Clash to pin somebody, when it actually pinned somebody, I said, oh, they think they gonna get him. Oh, they think they gonna get him. They think they gonna get him.
But everybody, please think modestly, because how many times has AEW given us the impression that something was going to happen, and either it takes forever for that thing to happen, or it's straight up.
It's still gonna take forever. Now,
temper your expectations just so we're not disappointed. But I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. And I will say this as somebody who I probably watched more WWE last week than I have in over a year, and it still didn't even like equivocate to a full hour of television. There's very few people that would genuinely move me to jump ship. Like I at this point, I think that everybody for the most part is kind of like ended up whatever side of the line they're gonna end up.
I don't disagree.
There's very few people that genuinely move me, I would say, on the other side of the fence. But, and it might just be from nostalgia purposes and the fact that he's the first wrestler that I ever met.
That's what I want to say. I want to give that wrestler
that he ever met. Right? He's the first wrestler I ever met. He's the first wrestler I ever met. My first picture, my first selfie is with AJ Styles from Alive.
That's how.
Oh, well, you will.
I'm not worried about it. But go ahead, sorry.
But AJ Styles, and plus the match that he had with Marufuji.
I lied. I've met Adam Cole. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, the match he had with Marufuji and Noah last year was proof. I said, oh my God, he still got that demon in him. He still got a demon. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. AJ Styles moves me. You know how I'm typically like, I like one style of wrestler, and then there's one person that I throw at y'all that is just like, oh wow, like I didn't know you were a stand for real. AJ Styles, like I got merch in my closet. I don't talk about it a lot because like I don't really watch WWE like that anymore. But if he jumped ship, I would just suddenly just become like the biggest fan,
I think it would be huge for 2 moments and 2 matches.
Yeah.
And then I think so if that is the expectation and that's what we're all cool with, then fine. But I don't want everybody being like, oh, it's gonna be 2 moments.
Yeah. Guys, I just really need one. I just really care about the Osprey match. If we could squeeze a good trilogy out of it, I'm cool with it.
No. I need that Kenny match. But it's my I understand that I have an issue in that every time I like a wrestler, I'm like, you know what? You should wrestle Kenny Omega. I'll be putting that nigga to work like he worked for me. Like, you know what would be cool? Kenny, go have a match with him.
What I will say though is like bringing that back to Forbidden Door. If you actually do manage to because Forbidden Door is now after All In. If you do manage to sign AJ Styles, that means that by Forbidden Door, you have almost every single Bullet Club leader and iteration of Bullet Club between the AEW and New Japan banner. This could truly be the action. Yeah. Respect to the lie. Respect to Allah. Respect to Allah and respect to God. Do you hear me? But yeah. We could actually have the Bullet Club Civil War that we probably should have had last year for the 10th anniversary. But they could really do something huge. Like, especially with Forbidden Door being in London, you already have Shibata has challenged the winner of Tanahashi versus Goto. Brother. Boom. And there it is. We're likely going to get Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness on that show. It's like, it's beyond Jay White. Like, I'm not going to lie. Jay White. Bro,
I'm not worried about Jay White.
Listen, I'm not going to lie, yo. Jay White has to pray to God on that show. I'm not going to lie. If they actually do this Bullet Club Civil War, because think about it. You have Kenny, you have AJ, You have, I'm gonna be honest, people can say whatever they want. David Finley's him. David Finley right now is him, like a fantastic Bullet Club leader. You can say whatever you want. It's okay. Now they better leave evil out of it. House of Torture.
Oh my God! No! This is a serious affair. This is serious.
You can't come. You can't come.
We checking invites at the door.
But you, we want to see your paperwork. No, you cannot come. But yeah, we're gonna have all these Bullet Club leaders, and we're gonna have the Bucks, and even I don't think AEW should sign them. But on a one night, just like we saw with the first Forbidden Door, yeah, bring in the Good Brothers.
Don't do that.
Yes. If we're doing a Bullet Club Civil War,
me and Lyric are booking 2 different Forbidden Doors. Everybody.
If we're doing the full thing, somebody said, I don't. Oh yeah, Chloe, I agree. I don't envy Jay White at all in this remaining year. Like there go your childhood, man.
I don't know what to say.
I will say, you know what would help? I think what would really help is he has to get out of the world title picture of just, he should not have been. If you put Will Ospreay in a mid-card feud, a mid-card title feud before you put him in a world title feud, I think that speaks volumes. Jay White should have never, ever been close to the world title again before being built up substantially, at least for another belt. He could have been a great TNT champion. And I think that we would think of him much more highly right now if he was able to develop in another division, if that makes sense. But
Jay White, I hope you got your ashes today. You're going to need the Lord.
You got literally like Willow smoked you last week. You ain't cool. And neither of y'all hit the same this week without her.
At all. I think that for Lent, AEW should give up the world title. Let's just not have one for a little bit. I just don't think we're in a position to have one. This is 40 days. We could do it. We could do it that way for 40 days. Who would notice at this point?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've already been without it, essentially.
We ain't seen the shit. Don't matter.
I'm not gonna lie. I need that beautiful belt back. That's the most beautiful world title belt in wrestling. And the fact that they've been keeping it stashed in a briefcase for a half-cocked feud for the last, 4 or 5, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I would be honest.
It I don't know. To me, it just takes away prestige also, because
it's going to take some work.
We're supposed to care. We're supposed to look at it. We're supposed to care. We're supposed to care.
They can put that belt back on Swerve, but he's going to have to wrestle like every week for about 2 months to really try to like build the prestige back up of it's even, because I think that now we've reached a point to where even putting it on a new guy isn't enough. It's going to take.
It needs to matter.
Yeah, it's going to take significant work.
But that's why I struggle with the Swerve. Now, hear me out. That is part of the reason why I struggle with the idea of just putting the belt back on Swerve. Do I think it's a bad idea? No. Swerve was a great world champion. He will be another one. Do I think right now that we have a reason to be invested in another Swerve world title run? No. And I think, like we were saying, the world title, it is in such a dire spot that we not only need somebody to win it that we care about, we need to care that you won it. You know, we need to care that it's moved to you and think about what the vision of the future can be for you holding this belt. And Swerve, do I think that you will be world champion again? Absolutely. Do I think you'll be world champion again soon? Absolutely. Do I think that fixes our problems? No. And I fear that you might put Swerve in a similar position as you did in his first title reign towards the beginning, of a little bit of limbo, a little bit of creative limbo for him. So don't do it unless you have a plan for Swerve's title reign.
I do think though, like if based off of the foreshadowing, and I think that the way that things were set up, particularly last week, I think that if Swerve gets the title back, I think that the long game is Hangman at All In. I think that that is where they finally run the world title match for that feud. That's the only thing that the feud has ever missed. You know, even think about it last week. Both of their feuds, both referencing each other, their segments being back to back. Nana obviously is bringing it back up. Like, I think that the long-term game, like, will probably be at All In the world title match. Now, that's where you also said the limbo, the in-between. What is going to happen there? Now, somebody brought up a very good point. I don't think that the Bobby Lashley stuff is finished. I do think that they revisit that at some point. And I do think that there's a couple of different, I don't know. I think there's a couple different routes that you could probably go with him at this point. It's still a couple guys that he hasn't tangled with. Now, the biggest one, I don't think they're going to tackle until probably after All In. I think that's Swerve versus Kenny. I don't think that they tackle that until after All In. But I do think that that's a plan.
I don't disagree with you. I think that there's a couple of AEW, like, y'all truly perplex me at times, because it was clear to everyone to see that a little while ago that your plan was Mox, Cope, Christian, Darby. That's how it looked for a while, that we were holding out on all these different pieces to fall together. So that's why I'm like, it's hard for me to look at AEW and say, oh, they just had a stroke of creative genius, and this is how we get the belt back on Swerve and Swerve Hangman. Do I think that any of this was intentional? I just don't think that they're that smart. No.
Yeah, no, I think that all of this is happenstance. Yeah.
So I'm just very convenient for them. But it concerns me because, yeah, I don't know. Now I feel like you're writing with an ending in mind backwards.
Here's the thing. That is the most AEW thing to do.
It is.
That, like, we've seen it with Tony and Mariah.
Fucks you up a lot sometimes.
Correct. So that's a very AEW thing to do. But I think that would be the plan, at least in my opinion, especially after the feuds that they're in right now. They've had like similar, like, I guess, to bring them back together All In. But yeah, I do think that, how do I say it? As I said, we are at the point to where there is no perfect solution for the world title. Like, it's damaged. And no matter which route you go, whether you keep it on Mox, whether you put it on Swerve, whether you put it on Ospreay, whether you put it on Kenny, it doesn't matter who it is at this point. It's going to take some time to genuinely rehabilitate the reputation of the AEW.
I disagree with that.
Well,
I think that any belt Kenny Omega holds becomes the biggest belt in the company.
I agree too, but I also think with the world title right now, there's still a lot of fans. Think about it. If you even started watching AEW or you weren't really watching for a while, like over the past year, you don't really know Kenny like that.
I don't disagree. But what I think is they have, especially since returning, absolutely nailed his presentation. And if you don't know who he is, when his music hits and when the crowd reacts, you say, hold on, who the fuck is that? Even if you don't know who it is. So what I think my bigger point is that, okay, if Kenny beats Takeshita and Kenny's your international champion and Mox is still world champion, or fucking Cope is world champion, or Christian catches it, you look stupid.
I think either way, I 100% agree. And I think that stupid is 100% going to be the answer coming out of Revolution. It just, how long will they stay stupid is the biggest question, right? How long are they going to be stupid? The shortest possible route is you put the title on Swerve at Dynasty. The longest possible route is you put the title on Darby and All In. Who knows?
That's bad.
It's just... Man, chill, man. Come on, man.
I
Anyway,
fell down on Mount Everest. Oh, I should have used different words.
um,
I
anyway,
got I got
any-
really into
no, no.
Mount Everest rabbit hole, and I'm like, Darby, I hope you got your ashes.
I hope you got insurance.
Shit, you know that nigga ain't got no insurance.
Damn. But I digress. I do think that it is going, because the thing is that at this point, Kenny's not winning the world title. Him winning the international title, he's not going to win the world title too. So like, he's not really an option anymore.
Yes, you will. I have a plan.
I mean, eventually, of course, but he's not even really an option anymore. And I think that at this point, you just got to go ahead and like complete the whole Hangman babyface arc. So, but at this point, the only person who's technically free to win the title is Swerve or Ospreay.
William Charles Ospreay is the other wild card in this, because that's another thing too. Like, if you're really genuinely like fucked, Ospreay after this Fletcher feud, he not doing nothing yet, confirmed that we know of. If you're really fucked and you don't know what to do, fuck it, put the belt on Ospreay, because it is inevitable that he is going to have many world title runs in this company. Whatever. I think that Ospreay needs to become, in a way, your new Moxley, which is break glass in case of emergency. I think you've overexposed Mox, you've overexposed OC. Kenny is the other dependable choice, but you're not going to go that route. I think that if you're looking for somebody, and Swerve can be that, he can be. Yeah. But I think that Ospreay is your other wild card in terms of, I mean, that's always an option.
Yes. I think also too of
get Jay White up out of there on these grown folk business.
I will say, and I don't mean to be harsh about it, but we do need Jay White out of there.
I do mean to be harsh about it though.
No,
this was the wrong call. Y'all set him up.
They set him up. Yes, I agree. Jay White was not given the proper tools that he needed to succeed. I don't think that he was put in a position to succeed. Jay White was not the right person for this. He just wasn't. Jay White, and I'm not even trying to be like, like he's small or anything. He's not. Like, I genuinely like Jay White, but they did not put him in a position to succeed.
I've never been a huge fan of him, and that's never been a secret. That's
what it comes down to at the end of the day. Anybody but him. And I have a plan for Mox too. I have a plan for Mox because
vacation.
After that, I have a plan for Mox because I believe that Mox still has value, but I'm not sure he knows he has value outside of holding the title. And you know who I know. And like, Mox, you still mean so much to me. And I think that you hold so much value. And so I have a feud for you. I think that after losing the title, I think Mox should feud with Samoa Joe. I think that Samoa Joe would really help him find his identity of who he's going to be without a title and who he is, without a title. Hey man, Pat, hey, listen.
That is my look. Y'all can say a lot of shit about me. Okay? All Elite Wrestling, you look up and down the roster, everybody named Mom will be like, this person's being underutilized. This person could be a world champion. Matter of fact, most of these niggas, the answer is no. From day one, I've been telling motherfuckers, Pac is him. Pac is him. And do not let the Death Riders shit. Do not let that jade you or cloud you. For some reason, they had this bitch on the ground. Get the fuck in the air, nigga. Get to flipping. That's who you are. Pac's presentation with the spooky bitch shit. He is one of the most believable characters in all of wrestling. And for some fucking reason, AEW has been like, oh, what do we do with this fucking bum? Pac, you gonna get that world title before Jay White ever fucking sniffs it. I swear to God. It's me and you, brother. Nobody else riding for you out here the way I am. Your match with Ospreay, generational. Your match with Okada, generational. And you know what you got from that? Fucking scraps. Tony Stark built this in a live. Pack. Oh my god.
Hey man, listen, I would not argue with Pat, but like I said, I think that we're in a position now to where now Mox has to lose it. I foresee a situation where Christian probably ends up walking out with a title. Because honestly, it used to feel like, at least from AEW programming, it used to feel like they weren't budging at all. Like y'all gonna take this Darby Mox main event and all in. You're gonna fucking like it. Like it felt like they didn't care. But these last couple weeks, like it's like
they probably started running the numbers. They probably started doing the math and said,
they said, man, these Swerve Ricochet segments doing numbers. They looked around, they said Hangman MJF feud going crazy.
And they said, matter of fact,
Fletcher Osprey going nuts.
Crazy.
Omega Takeshita going crazy.
How your world title, your men's world title match is the only sneak on the card. We used to be kings. That's embarrassing.
Kings.
And you know what? They probably started running numbers too. Like, I keep going back to this Everest shit, but like, it's a lot of time to prepare, to go up there, to come back down, and to be in regular shape, let alone ready to wrestle. Okay? So all of that, I actually think that the more likely situation is that somebody miscalculated on the back end and they were like, yeah, wouldn't it be cool? And then we'll have Darby win it. And then somebody was like, you realize how long Darby might actually be gone.
And I'm gonna be honest, like, and I ain't trying to get in nobody's business or anything. I'm really not. But I do think too, because this isn't even really more so like, I feel like sometimes we assume that we know where a company is going, but that's clearly not the plan. And we just talking, but it's very clear that Darby's the guy that they wanted to like witness.
This was their plan.
And so my thing is I've never doubted Darby's dedication to AEW. I've never doubted it. However, this isn't the time. Like, if you know, this company wants to put the world title on you. And clearly, Everest is more important right now. And that's cool.
In Darby's defense, he was going to go a long time ago, and then he broke his foot, and then he got hit by a bus. So in Darby's defense, was this his original timing? No. So, so I do take that with a grain of salt, but I just think that, because when you think about it, Ricochet,
was he about to win the world title last year?
Huh?
Was he scheduled to win the world title last year?
No, which was why I think, like I said, that was the original plan for him. So then this gets delayed. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go last year when I'm not really doing nothing. I said my goodbyes to everybody and everything. That gets delayed, because you get hit by a fucking bus of all things, And it's like, okay, but I still have this goal that I want to achieve. He came back and he answered the call when Tony Khan needed him, but he always wanted to do this, and he had scheduled it for a time where you wasn't supposed to need him. So he still wanted to do it. I don't blame him for that, because I'm like, you planned your PTO, then you got hit by a bus. So niggas can't be mad that you using your PTO now that you all right. You said you was going to. My bigger thing is like, it's clear to me the pivot, that is the pivot. And like I said, I think it's more likely that it was on the back end, because I don't think AEW is that smart. I think it was all these people being like, oh yeah, he'll be back, and then we'll have the all-in moment. And I think it became clear in recent weeks when it was announced that Ricochet Swerve would be for the number one contender spot. That's how you know. Because honestly, what sense does that actually make?
No, yeah, none. And I think also too of just like Swerve had barely been wrestling on TV. Like it was like
that's random as fuck compared to some of these other people clocked in, locked in. I was like, Mark Briscoe been on TV more than Swerve had been at
And
the time.
honestly, you want to know who's actually undefeated in AEW? To be quite honest, Hologram. That's the only person with the undefeated record right now.
So you're not gonna sit up here and tell me you got some fucking ranking ass shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's clear like that they're open to pivoting. It's just interesting to see what happens. Listen, if I get my dream all-in card, like I think I've said this before, my dream all-in card, give me Swerve versus Hangman.
Whoa.
I want Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada. I want Mercedes Moné versus Athena. What else did I say? Give me I said Brian Keith versus Hologram, I think. Yeah, TNT, Brian Keith versus Hologram. They'll probably put them in some type of multi-man scramble, but whatever.
Put Bandito in there.
I need a Bandito in a singles match. I don't even know who I want him to dance with. Yeah, I need that.
Somebody.
What else? I need. It's gonna be in Texas. I'm trying to think of. Is there anybody?
I'm trying so hard to go to that. I'm like, I don't know.
I will put you in my suitcase, please.
I'm like, I don't know.
I can't go without you.
Don't know.
I can't go without you.
I really want to. I really do. Especially as we get closer, and I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be like unmissable.
Please.
I go to Greece like 2 weeks after that. So I'm like, I
go Beyonce the week before.
So poor. Poor.
But listen.
We gotta make the Rob list of reality.
Haven't you ever had like the greatest poor girl summer ever?
No.
You never? Did not.
Well, I guess last summer.
You know, like when you're just traveling the world and you're like eating noodles in the weeks between, but when you're outside, you're outside.
I kind of need that.
Oh, I know. I haven't had one for real since 2023, and it was the greatest thing ever.
I was outside last summer.
Man.
I was outside last summer. Maybe a bit too much. You know what?
We have to do it. Are you going? You're not coming to Windy City Riot, right?
No, I can't go to Windy City Riot.
Sad.
I'm literally, because I'm thinking, I'm like, am I going to be able to go to any other shows?
I think that not Windy City Riot, but right now, especially since Double or Nothing's in Phoenix, All In is likely going to be my first AEW pay-per-view of the year.
It'll probably be my only one if I go. Unless I go to like World's End, if it's in a cool place. If it's not in a cool place, I'm not fucking going.
If the second half of shows for the year is on like the East Coast, then maybe it depends. Like on East Coast,
I hate using PTO on places I don't want to be. Like y'all niggas gonna have me in Dallas. Oh.
What's your problem with Dallas? What's the issue? I liked Dallas when I went last time I went. Texas. Oh, yes, like, but
jump scare. I've never actually been though. I can't say nothing crazy.
Wait, you doing all this and you ain't been?
So what?
Is this like Southern bias? Do you have something against Southern people?
Not against Southern people, against the South, yes.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I think it's totally valid to fear the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going.
I went to school in Missouri, good old Missouri Compromise.
You sure did.
So I'm not just saying this to somebody that ain't ever been nowhere.
That's fair. Touche. I'm not gonna. I can't. You're not wrong. But I also think that I would like to say specifically for Black people, the South is the mecca of Black culture.
100% agree. All my family live in Atlanta and in Virginia, so I'm saying all this. I'm just being mean.
Black culture from
Texas specifically scares me a little bit.
No, it should. Texas and South Carolina should really freak you out. Do you know that? I think they said, what is it? 60% of slaves who came in, they came in through Charleston. That was the port they came through.
Yeah. And another one's in Virginia.
Yeah, I'm closer to Charleston than Virginia, but I get what you put. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yes, the 8-man tag rocked. They hog-tied Will Ospreay afterwards. Kyle Fletcher, the star.
He ain't got no friends.
Fletcher, big proto star. Oh, I love you down.
And we bought stocks early.
Kyle Fletcher, you mean everything to me. You tweet for the girls. You dress for the girls. You understand your audience. You've never forsaken us. You've never turned your back on us, my glorious proto star. Everything that you do shall bear fruit. I cannot wait for the multi-time world championship career that you will embark on. I know that you're going to spin the block. You're going to do a G1. You're going to do a C2. You're going to give us everything because you're a real performer. You are a real performer. And Kyle Fletcher, I just want you to know you mean everything to me. However, don't talk about Mark Davis. Don't talk to Mark Davis like that again. If you do it,
watch your tone.
Watch that mouth. Better watch them B words. Watch them B words.
Yo house.
Watch them B words. Yeah.
My beloved Aussie Open, RIP. My beloved United Empire. We used to be kings.
I couldn't even tweet during that. I was just so shook, like the lore. The lore. And I think that's also too, I'll forever come back to that post somebody said, some of y'all won't be happy until AEW is built around the Elite and Swerve and Ospreay. And look what happened when it did.
And time out. I want to directly address that. That's exactly what I want. I drew it up in a fucking lab. That's exactly what I want. Some of you guys, well, is this the future you want? Yes. Yes.
And this is the best present that we've had in months.
You see what we get when it doesn't happen? Death Riders.
It's no secret. Like literally, this is the most excited I've been for an AEW pay-per-view since All Out. Like, I think that like this is the revolution right now. And a lot of it is because of like and I think honestly too, I think that because they've been so consistently brilliant and they've actually like consistently been putting on the shows that they have, Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher are kind of like, they haven't been the trending topic of this build to revolution, but I think it only just speaks to how consistent they've been. Like all their matches have hit since day one. You got to think Will Ospreay's first TV match in AEW was versus who? Kyle Fletcher. They've been building this story literally. 5. It shouldn't have got a 5, but you know,
not
hey,
for me.
Yeah. But
it did.
One day somebody's going to love me as much as Dave Meltzer loves Will Ospreay. And when they do, I'm afraid I'm never shutting up.
Yeah, Ospreay, I'm telling you right now, I don't love you that much. I watched all these goddamn matches. I never want to hear Elevated again in my fucking life.
He doesn't mean that. Wait, you watch the entrances?
I watch everything because I feel like it would be disingenuous to not, because I'm like, okay, you have to. I feel like it's only fair to watch it as if I was watching it with everybody the first time, because I know my own personal biases. And like I said, I overthought every aspect of this. I was like, my own personal biases. If I'm sitting there watching the Kenny match, I'm going to be thinking about how I was feeling the first time that I watched it. And that included the entrances. It included the commentary. It included, the whole thing. So I'm trying to be fair and to give each and every single fucking Will Ospreay match that same attention and that same that same feeling.
Detail. And also I think
there's something wrong
reviewing when you're rewatching wrestling. No. I think that you made a really good point. When you're rewatching wrestling, particularly older wrestling, whether it's something that you've seen before, but specifically for stuff that you haven't seen before, it's important to watch wrestling matches with context. At least
and that was the goal
of what was going on. So yeah, I think that's actually really cool. As always, we love your updates on this project. But yeah, this has been best usage of the Don Callis family, I would say, since it started these last couple months. Kyle Fletcher, big protostar. We love you. And also, too, I think that they found the best complementary henchmen. Like Lance Archer and Brian Cage are great henchmen. Like they play their role significantly well. It's very clear, like they're not even meant to be like the true crown jewels like Fletcher and Takeshita are. Like they make it very clear. This is the security. Like, this is Julius and this is Beyonce. This is, and I appreciate that. They protect Kyle Fletcher like it's the Secret Service. I respect it. Big protostar. We love you. Next, we had the Omega Takeshita video package. The DDT footage made me cry. I just hope both parties have fun. I hope both of you have fun.
I love you both so much.
We love you.
Like it's literally like sending your husband out with your son for like a daddy son day. Like, I hope you have so much fun. Tell me all about it.
Oh my God, I love when you get time together. Just, I love you guys so much.
I remember years ago.
Next, we had the Colt versus Yuta. Let's talk.
Oh.
I liked this match in a vacuum. Did it feel like it was the go home match for the world title angle for one of the what's already looking to be a show of the year contender, especially after we've already seen like Max and Hank Van and stuff, and then the Swerve and Ricochet stuff and the Oscar Fletcher stuff? No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like that at all. But I do appreciate Wheeler Yuta's internal conflict, the constantly crying out for help with the Bryan Danielson moves. Wheeler Yuta looks exactly like what he's been through. Derogatory. Wheeler Yuta, you look exactly
you look rough, brother.
What you've been through. After this win, lose, or draw, I do hope that a barber is in your future.
That's the real loser.
That's the real loser.
Yuta's barber.
Yeah. Just
get a trim.
Please call Brian. Go home. Call your father, call your dad, your real dad. This is, what this is like. This is like almost, it feels as if, a guy whose dad walked out of their life at a young age, but they had a really decent stepfather who raised them. But the birth father comes back in right around, the age of 18. It's just like, yeah. And then
very hyper specific. Has this happened to you?
No, not to me, but I've seen it happen to others. And then they're like, no, but this is my real dad. And then they find out it is not.
It's not your real dad.
No, this is not what you signed up for.
You need to go home.
I actually want to go back home and play Monopoly with my father.
It's beyond scared straight. That's what it is. It's beyond scared straight. Wheeler Yuta think he big and bad. He went out there and fucked with the wrong one. He like, you know what? He got in over his head, and he's like, matter of fact.
It's very also a lot like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air too, especially in those early episodes when like Will is trying to act hard. Like, I want to go back to Philly.
And you came out here because you was finna get your ass whooped.
You better get back up on that mountain and doing namaste poses with that Bryan Danielson, okay? But to me personally, that was the real. Oh my God, those are so cute.
Sorry, go ahead.
For me,
Yuta was on camera. I'm losing.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yuta was the star of the show for this for me. Honestly,
there was no star of the show of this to me. This was like, it was giving, it was giving Honora. No star of the show.
Oh, I never watched Honora, so I wouldn't know.
You're not. Yeah.
Flop. Next we had
Best picture. Flop.
I would also like to say too, I'm not even here to stand up for Cynthia Erivo. Even though I do think that she should have seriously been considered as best actress, and I would have loved to see her win. The person that I'm getting in the trenches for and that I would personally like to fight for is Demi Moore got robbed. Demi Moore was robbed. I haven't seen a highway robbery this bad in a minute. Demi Moore, as for somebody who has as long and as accomplished of a film career as she had, for her to truly be doing, I truly believe that The Substance was her best work in her career. Y'all are nasty, rude, and you're not seeing the pearly gates of heaven. That was nasty, dirty.
I think best actor was a point blank robbery as well. How are you using AI in your performance and winning best actor? No, the fuck you're not. You're not the best actor. They had to alter it. Dumb fuck.
Clock it.
But the only one, it's not even related, and I won't get
Demi did get, yes, Jalen, and we need to say it. Demi Moore got robbed all award season. And I just don't understand.
You know, go ahead.
No, you had just
the real enemy was Emilia Perez.
Yes, and trust, you will be dealt with. You will be dealt with. The fact that let's not even get into it. We're gonna be here all night. We had an Outrunners segment. Outrunners are facing the Hurt Syndicate. I'm gonna be honest, I don't care.
Y'all not going to hate the Outrunners.
I don't. Oh, sister, your Wi-Fi is winning. Don't let them defeat you. Okay,
I was gonna say they're fun. Like, you know, like I think World Wrestling Entertainment and All Elite Wrestling could each learn something from one another. WWE needs to learn. Sometimes you just need to put the best matches on. You know, just let it fucking happen. And AEW needs to learn that sometimes just let something be fun. And this is that. Not everything needs to be a 5-star classic. They're gonna get murdered. It's gonna, like, there's room for fun on the card. Don't be fucking boring. And grown men love to be miserable and be like, oh, what the fuck are the Outrunners getting? Shut up. How about that? Shut the fuck up.
Before I get to that match, the Outrunners, I would also like to say on that brief note about you talking about WWE putting the best for it. I want to talk about one instance where they did put their best for it. We are back. I would like to want you all to see the EST of life, not just WWE, of life. I have Bianca Belair merch littered all over this place. But you want to know what's crazy? I stopped watching WWE pay-per-views regularly during when Beyonce, I said Beyonce. Oh my God, Beyonce, my goats, my queens. When Bianca lost the Raw Women's title, that's when I was done for real. I really couldn't. She was the only thing I was sticking around for the most part. And when she lost it, and I said I would start watching pay-per-view matches again once she was back on like her singles train. We're so back. She's going to WrestleMania. She better main event. I'm not playing. I'm not playing any games. Bianca, Big Io. I don't really care if Rhea fits into Mania. I know she's like the most popular person, but for the sake of seeing real wrestlers, shout out to them. I would like to give a shout out to them. But I digress. I just wanted to say really quickly, we're so back. Yeah, Bianca Belair. Whenever you hear me slander World Wrestling Entertainment, I'm never talking about her.
Never talking about you.
Never talking about her. I hope that her crops are always watered, her edges are always laid,
and are.
And also, I would like to say the women's tag title match on Raw was fantastic. And I think
Raw.
Well, I only watched that match. I didn't watch Raw, but I only saw that match. But the women's tag title match where her and Naomi dropped the titles, that was amazing. So just wanted to give shout out to our Black excellence over on the other side of the pond. But
we're still rocking with you. We want that to be clear.
Yeah, it's very clear. Even though I don't really watch, I'm always watching them.
Always rooting for you.
Also, what did you think of Eva John Cena?
I don't think that John Cena is evil. And I tweeted it, but I mean it. I think that Cody Rhodes earned that ass whooping when he got that fuck ass neck tattoo. And I think anybody who was going to step up is justified in doing so. You had that ass whooping coming from a long time, brother, and it should have been Brandy.
Bro, so you got to think. So my perspective is, so I watched the women's elimination chamber match, and I was like, I've seen all I need to see. Bianca won. So then I turned on Collision. So I watched Collision. Collision goes off, and they're like, okay, I see people talking about like, oh wow, the final two of the chamber scene. I'm like, okay, I don't have really anything else to do. So I said, I'll just turn it back on. And I'm like, okay, so this is the whole I want your soul thing. Cause I've seen clips about like this Rock, I want your soul thing. And I was like, bro, Dwayne Johnson is the greatest politician of all time. Him and Charlotte Flair, like real politicians could learn so much from y'all. That my favorite Nepo babes. And then I see this motherfucker John Cena get activated like the Winter Soldier.
I want to say though, watching the Elimination Chamber, I predicted it, but I picked the wrong person. I said, do you know how fucking funny it would be if CM Punk wins the Elimination Chamber, and then after a decade of saying, I'm real, I'm not going to sell my soul just to main event WrestleMania, you leave the company, you come back. If you do what John Cena did and, align with The Rock, your number one enemy. So in my head, that's where we were going. So when John Cena won, I was like, oh, okay, they go on boring, whatever. I saw that motherfucker. I said, oh my God, he's got a glint in his eye. He said, it's all about what's best for business. I said, do it, John. Do it. Had me absolutely, I was tweaked the fuck out, man. I was about as bad as Travis Scott was.
I will say that, yeah, they fucked me up with that one. There are and it's only for people.
You got me.
People who grew up as wrestling fans, it's beyond company or anything. Like, there are very few moments that were just sit here, like just still cards left to play that can genuinely shock everybody.
Yep.
And that is like the one card I would say for wrestling fans. That, and I think what was another one? Probably like if we had gotten like Undertaker versus Sting or something like that, and we never did. So like that card was probably like the last true like big trump card in wrestling, to where it's just, and
you know what gagged me was right before Cody said, go fuck yourself. I said, think of the children. Then John Cena out here killing people. Think of the fucking children. Yo, for decades.
They could only really do.
You was talking about all the kids.
But you can only really do something like that now because he's been out of the limelight like for so long. If you did that 10 years ago, they would have had to take kids out on stretchers. Like, they would have been passed out, boo-hooing, falling, crying, screaming, throwing up. Kids, shit, 10 years ago, me. 10 years ago, when I was actively, coming, like when
I would have been 12. I would have been like, what do you mean, John Cena?
Wait, you would have been what?
12.
Oh, really? Huh. Wow. That's crazy. I feel old. I would have been 17.
You know what I did the other day though at work on accident? Somebody was like, oh yeah, in high school with the floppy disk. And I was like, what the fuck is a floppy disk? And then they're like, oh yeah, with dial-up internet. I was like, I'm trying really hard not to I don't know, guys.
Yo,
I think like, Danielle, don't be like that. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking. I don't know what that is.
Floppy disk also wasn't high school for me. Floppy disk was elementary school. We were off. We did floppy disk in elementary school, and
they were explaining it to me. I was like, all right, sounds. And
dumb. Then we were on discs by middle school, and by high school we were fully on like flash drives.
I had flash drives in elementary school, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yes, I agree. This is like one of those things to where you can wake up my childhood nostalgia like, oh my God, if Little Lyric could see this happened, she would not have been able to like handle it at all. But I digress. We shall see. I'm gonna be real. I probably won't watch anything WWE related until WrestleMania. So
I don't need to say probably. I definitely will not. But they
yeah,
gagged me. But they gagged me.
But shout out to Big EO though. Fun fact:
I'm not getting into that.
every main, I think every, at least, how do I say it? That's WWE, AEW, NXT, and obviously Stardom and Marigold. 5 of the top women's champions in the world have all come through Stardom. Fun fact.
Cool. That's cool.
They've all come through Stardom. So that's your fun fact for the day. I digress. The tag match. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm not an Outrunners hater. I'm just not an Outrunners lover. I just personally don't care. But let me tell you one thing that I do care about. What I do care about is that Shelton Benjamin is getting his first pay-per-view match since 2021. I would also like to say, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, you will fall. Do you hear me? You will fall. You will fall, and your little father-in-law too. Y'all will fall for many things. But right now, what you will specifically fall for. Right now, what you will specifically fall for is 1, how you booked the Hurt Syndicate, but 2, how you treated Shelton Benjamin over the course of his career. I want you to know you will fall.
You know, we should do like Dante.
Yes. I think it would be very fun to dream up all the layers of hell that Vince McMahon will visit. I think that sounds like a great time.
Do it.
Let's do it. I just can't do that sober.
I'm gonna do like a Danny's Inferno. Everybody in the different levels of hell that they're going to.
Imagine if you took one of them tier lists and then said and put the roster.
What level of hell? I don't think that one's as funny. I have another one that I'm gonna do tomorrow that I think it's funny. I'm the target audience though.
You know what would be funny though? Do it, but like none of the wrestlers who call themselves like the devil or the woman from hell, don't put them at the bottom. Like you have to do like the complete.
I wouldn't. No, I'd be like, no, that's nothing to me. Who is actually like 9th circle of hell? Like last worst of the worst.
We should play. You want to play Hangman? Not actual Hangman, but like we should play Hangman like with the letters. Because I have a person. Give me a vowel. Give me a vowel. Give me a vowel. Oh wait, should I give you a vowel?
All right. No. I don't have one. So O.
Yes, that's one of the letters. Yes, at the end.
Is it Chris Jericho?
Ding, 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 ding.
Got it in one, folks.
Got one. Who else? Which one of you will fall?
Oh, I got one.
Go. Oh, me. Is there an A?
No.
Is there an I?
No.
Is there an E?
No.
Is there an O?
No.
Is there a U?
Mm-mm.
Damn, I'm going through all the vowels. Let's go through consonants. C.
Mm-mm.
R.
Yeah.
Okay. S.
No.
And also, where is the R in the name?
That's not how.
I told you that where the O was. I told you the O was at the end.
At the end.
Max Caster? Wait, no, never.
Good guess. No. Think simple.
Simple.
You're gonna be really mad when I tell you. Would you like to
Okay,
pick
I'm
a
gonna
letter?
come up with another letter. Another letter. N,
Mm-mm.
M, P. Okay. D, F, FTR. Boom, and there it is.
Ninth circle of hell.
Ooh, that was a hoot. That was fun. But anyway, Shelton Benjamin, big business. We're back in business. From South Carolina all the way to Los Angeles, California, and Revolution. It's going to be amazing. I'm actually really sad I'm not there, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm really sad I'm not going to be in person for Revolution, but I need to be alone with this card. There's a couple of matches on that card. I think I need to be alone with.
I
In the
can tell you one
privacy.
thing. I can tell you one thing. I ain't got no type of business trying to pretend to be professional about whatever
No,
Konosuke Takeshita
no.
and Kenny Omega are gonna do in that fucking ring.
This is one of those shows where I truly reserve my rights as a fan.
I'm a fan.
I'm a fan.
Y'all don't want me working this shit. I'm sitting like, oh
Yeah. I'm gonna be real with you. I reserve all rights to just be a fan for this show. So do with that information what you will. Next, we had Max still outside. He's yelling, "Hey man, come outside! Hey man, come outside!" And then Hangman comes up and his energy efficient truck with the long horn on it.
Light of my life.
Sustainable King. I will say the guys who are for the girls really make the girls proud. Shout out to y'all. Everybody really did it like that. It's day to be day. Hangman also too, and I'm not sure if anybody noticed this, but a lot of guys say that they want to be like Stan Hansen, but Hangman has really mastered so many of the mannerisms, and I'm not even talking about the in-ring stuff. The way that he walks angrily and he huffs and puffs through the crowd, like very Stan Hansen-esque of him. So just wanted to point out that little tidbit. But the MJF feud has really it's been great. I think this has been really great. And I will say Hangman's so generous because this was one segment to where he didn't do as much, I would say, as he typically does as far as like the talking and stuff like that. Like this was really designed to really let MJF's insecurities take over and shine. And I think that's exactly what they did. The t-shirt was crazy. MJF did nothing wrong. How online can you possibly be?
Incredibly.
But it just shows. He said, "I still got to make my point." You poured lighter fluid on him and tried to set him on fire.
But you not. I never believed you. That's the difference.
And then they carried you away crying, saying,
"I never believed you. You was not gonna set that motherfucker on fire." When Darby brought out that blowtorch, I said that flamethrower. I said he might do it. He's the type of crazy. He might do it.
Can we talk about that though? Because I think that that's an important thing, and I think that with the fire stuff, especially because he's in a feud with Hangman, I think that maybe that felt like a nod to him burning the house down. And I'm not saying that it wasn't, but MJF with the lighter fluid, it really reminded me of his past with Darby. And during his feud, they talked about how like Darby does too much to gain the adoration of the fans, and he's willing to do anything to be loved and accepted and go to different lengths. And Max says, like, I'll never do any of that to be loved by these people. But especially now, we're 6 years in AEW, you're against another, not a pillar, but that truly another day one talent, especially from your generation. And we're seeing MJF is not just pulling from like Hangman's bag of tricks. He's pulling from Darby's bag of tricks, which I think opens up a whole different level of Pillar's lore of like his desire to be accepted. And I think that that's also too the beauty of when Max allows himself to do something fresh instead of pulling on the same just corny shit all the time. The in-ring storytelling that he was able to do tonight, I think, was really efficient. And I think that it really, especially people who've been watching for a long time and just watching his different feuds, it really shined through. And my thing, hopefully, about this, and I think my biggest fear now is that I hope he uses this feud as evidence. Don't ever do that other shit again, please. Like we now that we know you're capable of better, do better.
He's honestly like, he's the verbal Okada. Just in terms of like, if he doesn't think that it's anything for him, you're not gonna get anything from him.
That's a very good comparison.
The difference is, though, your highs are incredibly high, but you're not Kazuchika Okada. That's the difference. You haven't earned the phone it in right the way that Kazuchika Okada has on his in-betweens.
Phone it in doesn't come from highs. Phone it in comes from consistency. You get to coast after consistency, not one good feud in a vacuum and one good feud here in a vacuum.
Exactly.
Especially when the people that you had the feud against, most of them aren't even in the company anymore. So like there's a whole generation of AEW fans who really has nothing to compare your work to, because your best work is against guys who are in WWE right now. And that's just the truth. And so I think that we've seen Max is finally looking as young as he actually is. Like he's finally showing his age in the sense of he has to establish himself.
You know what I would like to see eventually?
What?
No time soon. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if it never happened, because it probably doesn't deserve to happen. I want to see you lose. And then I want to see, because to me, your biggest transgression, Takeshita. The way that she was talking to Takeshita, the way that she was disrespecting Takeshita. I want you to be at rock bottom, and then I want Big Soup to be however many fucking contracts he got, however much, like he's at the height of everything right now. I want you to be, I don't know, humbled in the face of that. I think that to me is like the biggest thing that stands out. You had a lot of dumb shit, a lot of loser shit that you've been saying, a lot of, bad feuds where you didn't commit to. To me, the one that sticks out the most and was the most egregious was Takeshita. And I hope that Big Soup gets his lick back on you. And I hope that you learn and you grow from it so that we don't find ourselves in this position again.
I'll take it a step further. Of when people talk about the core four guys who they said that AEW should build around, and like people will often, I think that we are all agreed that three of them are Ospreay, Hangman, and Swerve. I do think that the place of discontent has been over the fourth member of who that person could be. Should it be MJF? Yes. Has MJF been consistent enough for that person to be resoundingly him? No. And I think especially with the rise of guys such as Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita, it brings in the question of, is MJF that guy? And I think that a feud like this with Hangman, it shows that he has potential to be that guy. But let me tell you, there's one thing that I think that we see from the Ospreys, the Hangmans, and the Swerves that we haven't seen from MJF. And I think that it goes hand in hand with what you're saying about Takeshita. We've seen MJF have some great feuds, but can he make a star? Can he put somebody over and not lose anything? Can he genuinely give and take? And I think that's the thing about Hangman's feuds that make everybody look so good, because Hangman gives and takes. You win one, I win one. I lose this, I will, you take something from me, I take something from you. It's very much built on balance. And if you don't invest, and if you don't balance, if you don't show layers of vulnerability, look at what we're seeing from MJF. These levels of vulnerability, like, yes, you're going to look great on the other side of this, but you have to give something to get it. And I think that that's the thing about Max right now, is coming out of this What is he willing to give? And I'm gonna be honest, after this, I actually don't want to see Hangman give anything else. He's been plenty giving. The fact that he laid down for Jay White twice was crazy. After this, man,
we might just all have to kill ourselves.
I don't want to see him do none of this. No, like he's not laying down no more, y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
But see, I think that that's not a good point about the DG feud.
Correct.
I don't think that DG's contract messed up that feud. I don't. I think that feud, I understand where you're coming from and saying, you know, do I think that feud was balanced going into their pay-per-view match? No.
He spent most of it beating DG down.
Yes.
Of like that still wasn't balanced all the way in that sense. So,
but it had potential, and it could have been a moment for him to prove himself in something like this. But he, in my opinion, he did not. DG did not come out looking like a bigger star. He did well. MJF did well, but did it benefit either one of them in an incredible way? No. Is it either one of their most memorable works? No. Did I remember it even fucking happened until you commented it? No. And I love DG.
I think same thing with the Ospreay feud. We can go there of just Ospreay didn't lose anything, but he didn't gain anything either.
And think about it. How many in the past 3 or 4 years, how many Will Ospreay feuds are forgettable? Very few, brother.
In any company.
It don't matter if it's William Charles.
It don't matter if it's an indie. Don't matter if it's a major. Don't matter if it's in Japan. Don't matter if it's in America.
So just because something is serviceable does not mean that it's good enough, and does not mean that you have earned the trust to get the reins back. That's what it is to me. Because like I said, nigga, you had a feud with Will Ospreay, and there is so much that can be said about Will Ospreay. There is so much that Will Ospreay has done, said, grown from, yes, but there's lots of material there. Low-hanging fruit.
And I'm gonna be honest, all you gotta say is you can't read.
Like it's really easy. It's really easy.
He says it himself.
The DG thing, and I think that sometimes MJF's issue is not just like, oh, like let me think of something racist, or let me think of something sexist, or oh my god, I fucked your mom, which was a lot of what the DG feud was.
Jeff Jarrett stuff.
And the Jeff Jarrett stuff. It's like, if women are the punchline of your jokes, you're not very fucking funny.
And also too, I'm gonna be honest. Think about all those guys that we named who are at the core. All of these men, all of the top guys in AEW, the universally accepted top guys, they all have the support of women. Women, and I think that's also the thing. When you saw, did you hear about the numbers? The female demographic went up 70% ever since they started leading episodes with Hangman. Listen, you can say whatever you want.
Do you want me to sit here surprised?
We get the job done. But when we rock with you,
heavy.
We gonna get you where you need to go.
But you know, to that end, I think that, like we're saying, MJF, if it's not low hang, and because the other end of the spectrum to me is like, if he doesn't go that route, and like I think that's a good point about being sketchy about the Swerve feud. You should feel sketchy about the Swerve feud, because he tends to go either that route or he tends to go knock off Christian Cage, which is, I heard that someone in your family passed away. You got a nigga out here doing that, and he doing it better than you. Pick another lane, brother.
I think also too of just, it's one thing when you're doing that with these old head 50-year-olds, and I think that's also the thing. MJF has rarely gotten the chance to dance with people of his own generation, and when he has, it's been largely unmemorable outside of probably Darby.
Or you've actually gotten licked.
Cooked. Because I'm not gonna lie, if we go back to the Ospreay stuff, Ospreay was murking him on the mic. Like
Osprey murked him on the mic. DG murked him on the mic. DG said, if you can ever find some woman who can pretend to love you for more than a year and she gives you some ugly ass baby, you won't need a DNA test because that baby just gonna come out as bald as you did before you went to Turkey. I said Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia.
I will also say Ricky's last great promo at AEW was what he cut on Max.
And
right
it was so good. You got ate up so bad that niggas was looking at Ricky Starks like, I mean, maybe he could be.
Maybe he could.
I mean, I don't know. He gagged you so severely that we thought about it for a second.
Let him cook.
We all thought about it for a second. I walk around all the time quoting it. I mean, I'll smack the mole off your neck.
I think that where it happens from here is completely dependent on MJF. And I do like the fact that it seems like over these, because Hangman tends to bring the best out of everybody. It does seem like he's hungry right now. Will that remain? Who knows? But I do hope that he stays on this track because I think that AEW
left.
Yes, AEW is better when MJF delivers as the heel he was supposed to be. And I think that when the company was created, it was very clear that Hangman was intended to be the top babyface. MJF was eventually supposed to be the top heel. And the thing is, I think Hangman has always delivered on who he was supposed to be. But MJF at so many different points has allowed himself to get lapped, not because of a lack of talent, but due to an emphasis on complacency. And this is not the time, and I'm not trying to be I'm not even trying to be an alarmist, but
veteran ass. He washed you, brother. Sorry.
I think AEW is at a point right now to where, guess what? WWE is bigger than they've been in decades. Like, you're not going to win the war, like in the sense of like beating them at their own game. You'll never be able to out nostalgia them. Like, they are always going to out nostalgia you. But one thing that AEW can do that I think WWE is not doing, especially as it relates to WWE, that too, but present fresh stars. There's no other company where you're going to see people in their early 30s and late 20s main event pay-per-views and stuff like that. Trust me, that is not happening over there at World Wrestling Entertainment. That is not happening. What they have the opportunity to do is build that next generation of let's say 10 years from now, when the Hangmans in the world, they're in their early 40s and MJF in his late 30s, they're lapping the current generation of WWE at that time because they took the time to build those stars. But it takes foresight. And is
anyone in here 30? What's that like? 30 plus? Anyway.
So AEW has a very unique opportunity right now to build the stars of tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see what happens with Max. But this is a good start. But I'm not gonna lie, Hangman really don't count. Anybody, he can have a good feud with a broomstick. He's kind of like Danielson in that aspect. So we'll see after. Afterwards, we had the women.
I gotta go to sleep.
Oh, you going to bed?
I have I gotta be at work at 5. I know. I love my job though. I really do. But yeah, I gotta go. I love you all. I love Hangman Adam Page. I would die for Kenny Omega. I'm trying to think what else happened on the show that I can give a 30-second thought on. Fuck, I can't remember. Megan Bain, Willow, Statlander, Jamie Hayter. Some combination of those 4 need to be on my TV at all fucking times. Death Riders, you lame as shit. I will see you all next week.
All right, yeah, I'm about to log out too then. But yeah, that was really it. The women's match was good. The main event was fine. It was fun. Everything is fun. Revolution's going to be great.
We love you.
All right, bye everybody.
Sorry.
on the. All right. We
Tony
shall
did
see.
fry Mariah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, she sure did. She
Flags her
said
bad.
nobody's ever gonna love you. It's kind of crazy. And Big Momo on Collision. Rah, rah,
Joe.
rah, 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 rah.
Bye, brubs.
Bye.
Love you.